What's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz, and of course, you are either listening to or watching the Intro Podcast. We are live in the Dallas, Texas studios where it goes down. So instead of me doing all this talking, let's just get right into the show. Let's go! Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz. Hey, thank you once again for watching or listening to the Intro Podcast. Do me a favor. There's a share button somewhere down at the bottom of your screen or at the bottom of this video. Do me a favor and share this show with everyone. I want to talk about my favorite show that's not going to be my favorite show for at least 20 years unless I'm watching reruns. I'm talking about Chrisley Know Best on USA. We done a story last year where they were in court regarding tax fraud, and it just so happens that it went down. Coming from the Shade Room on Instagram, Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie Chrisley are officially behind bars and will slowly get adjusted to their new lives, according to Page 6. The Chrisley Know Best couple reported to their respective prisons on Tuesday. As reported previously, they were sentenced to a combined 19 years for fraud and tax evasion. Todd Chrisley will serve a 12-year sentence, and Julie will serve a 7-year sentence. Of course, Todd is going to be in the federal prison camp, Pensacola, and Julie will be at the Federal Correctional Institution, Marania. I hope I said that right. Of course, right now they are still saying themselves that this is not their doing, and that they should not be charged accordingly. I have witnessed or listened to shows where other celebrities have gone through something similar to this. The only difference is they were not convicted. Number one, because they were probably it was probably found to be true that it wasn't them, or they were able to take the necessary steps to avoid prison time. I know a story that I heard about Steve Harvey on the Earn Your Leisure podcast where he didn't know that for 7 years, his tax attorney, every time he would have to come up to file his taxes, the tax attorney was filing the taxes, but the money wasn't going to the government. Whatever that exact amount of money was that was due at the time, they would just take out that exact money and just parlay, do whatever they wanted to do. It wasn't until the tax attorney passed and the secretary walked in the office and saw all of the past, the 7 years of Mr. Harvey's taxes on the floor. But Mr. Steve Harvey was looking at years in prison because he was like millions and millions of dollars in debt. So I could understand how a situation like this where they would say that it's not them and want their justice according to what they say their justice is. I could understand how something like that could happen. I know there are other people in the industry, whether it's actors or rappers or singers or whatever, that have gone through the same thing. But I guess according to the evidence that was shown throughout the court hearings, that justice that they said they deserved was not proved, I guess. I don't know what it means for the kids, because I also understand that their son and daughter had their show Growing Up Chrisley on USA also. Like, they were really capitalizing off of this family thing, and they were doing a really good job of it too. But I don't know exactly where they're going to end up with their show. If the network is going to keep them or not. I just know it was a good show. I feel for the family who probably, if this is a true story and the family didn't know what was going on, I feel for them. And I guess at the end of the day, all we can do is pray and believe that, gotta hold them in this time. But yeah, that was literally one of my favorite shows on YouTube. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Taz. Thanks again for listening to or watching the Intro Podcast. Do me a favor and share this show, whether it's the video or the audio. If you're listening to us and you want to watch us, you can check us out on Facebook under the Intro Podcast or on YouTube at the Intro Podcast also. If you're watching this and you just want the audio, you can check us out wherever you get your podcast from, whether it be Spotify, iHeart, Anchor, Audible, wherever you get your podcast, you'll find us. We're there. I appreciate you guys for that. If you have been following me within the last year or so, whether it be personally, face-to-face, or on social media, you've heard me mention a lot about taking care of your body, whether it's your physical body or your mental, just making sure that it's okay, because if you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you. I've been telling people, listen to your body, notice the signs and act accordingly. And I talk about this just regarding this story coming from people.com. Lisa Marie Presley, singer, songwriter, and daughter of Elvis and Priscilla Presley, passed away at the age of 54. Priscilla Presley says it is with a heavy heart that we must share the devastating news that my beautiful daughter Lisa Marie has left us. She confirmed in a statement to people.com. Let's go down to why I want to talk about this story. And it reads, on Thursday morning, Presley was rushed to the hospital for a possible cardiac arrest. A spokesperson for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department confirmed to People that paramedics responded to the 5900 block of Normandy Drive in Calabasas to treat a woman in her 50s who was not breathing. When they arrived, the paramedics began CPR, and up on nothing, the patient had signs of life, transferred the woman to a local hospital for medical care. Let's keep on going down a little bit more. The spokesperson for the Los Angeles Fire Department confirmed to People that the unit was dispatched to the address for a cardiac arrest call. Just previously to this call or this particular situation going on, Lisa was just at an award show. I can't think of what the award show, but it was the most recent award show that we had on TV. And she appeared to be fine. From what I understand, there were no signs of sickness, no signs to where it would have been something this serious. I think there was a report that said that she had been talking about headaches, but again, we think headaches and we don't necessarily feel like, it's something that major that we have to go get checked out. We just deal with it. And let me say this, allegedly, all this stuff, although I'm reading it as it's published, I want to make sure y'all don't try to come back on me. But I said all that to say this. We are as men, especially black men, myself, it is extremely hard to get us to go to the hospital. It's extremely hard because we've been raised or we've been shaped or formed to, walk it off, or it'll be all right. Or if you're in the church, they'll tell you pray about it. Or, if people don't believe you, they'll just bypass you and not believe that you're going through anything at all. My story, I want to say September of last year, I had just got a flu shot, and I thought that, my sickness that I felt I had, I just got a flu shot, so I have the flu. Well, luckily, I listened to people who told me to go to the hospital and get checked out because, see, my situation, what got worse for me was the fact that I would have coughing fits, and after my coughing fits, I would literally lose consciousness. I would pass the beep out completely. And I would wake up and I would be drenched with sweat, like I feel like I had probably just died or whatever. People laugh and be like, no, it's not that serious. You don't know until you go through it. However, I talked to some people and I explained to them what I had been going through, what I had been feeling, and they were like, you need to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, there's no need. I'm going to take the pill and I'll be all right in the morning. Well, I took a pill and that morning I was even worse. So I went to the hospital in Parkland. Shout out. I went to Parkland and I let them know what was going on. And they quickly, and see, this is the part that scared me. After they done their test, their blood work, whatever, and they done an x-ray like real fast, they quickly got me to the back and had me in the bed or whatever. The doctor came and talked to me. And after a while, another doctor came in the back and he was like, well, Mr. Gilmore, we are going to have to admit you to the hospital. I'm like, why? I have the flu. Like, I just got a flu shot. That's what's wrong with me. The doctor said, no, sir, Mr. Gilmore. You have pneumonia. Not just pneumonia. He was like, you have walking pneumonia, Mr. Gilmore. There's a possibility that if you did not come in, you probably were not going to make it. I look at the doctor. I look at myself. And I'm like, boy, you are one lucky beep, 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 beep. Because in myself, I was going to stay in the bed and, just deal with it. So I let them, do what they do. They admitted me, started running tests, and for sure it was pneumonia. But in the process of them discovering that I had pneumonia, the test came back and showed that not just pneumonia, but I had a really bad lung infection also, which explained a lot of other things that I had been feeling or going through in my chest region. Because, again, whenever something looks similar to something that you've had already, you just automatically equate that to being what that was. Well, that's what I was doing. I was dealing with situations health-wise that looked like or felt like something that I had previously dealt with that I got over. So I just was like, okay, it is what it is. But nah, so fast forward again, me in the hospital, walking pneumonia, and now I have a really bad lung infection. In the hospital for a week, well, almost 2 weeks. They send me home. I go back again on my birthday, October 10th. The doctor looks at me and he says, you're not going to like what I tell you, Mr. Gilmore. I'm like, oh my God. He was like, I know it's your birthday and all, and you probably don't want to do this, but we're about to have to put you back in the hospital again. It's like, because your situation is not getting any better, so we're going to have to put you back in. I was like, whatever. So they done that, and more tests came back, and they started finding other things that was wrong with me. I say all that to say this. We have to listen to our bodies. And although it may seem strange or it may seem like it's not as important, we have to realize that some signs may look like something else, but you still need to go to the doctor. Like, I don't care anymore if I'm walking and I stump my toe on something. I'm going to the doctor because you never know what that little situation may lead up to, because you have to understand that everything in your body is connected to something that is connected to something that may be connected to your heart. It may be connected to a vein where your blood is flowing, and if you don't get it checked out, you never know what happens. We have to stop. There are a lot of things at 41 years old I've had to unlearn. Let me say that again. There are a lot of things at 41 years old that I've had to unlearn, because these things have been a part of my life for so long, and it seemed true, not because there was physical or scientific or even religious proof. It was because it was just something that was drilled into me, because somebody told somebody who told somebody who told somebody, but none of those somebodies had any proof that it was real, or that's the way that life should be going, or whatever the situation was. Nobody had proof, but everybody had a word. So we have to unlearn the fact, black men of color, we have to unlearn the fact that, no, we don't need to go to the hospital. No, we don't have to get physicals, or why should I go get a colonoscopy? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? We need to be able to listen to our bodies with no conviction and act accordingly. You want to be around for your friends, your family, your kids, your wife, your partner. you need to be able to listen to your body and get help. And even in listening to your body, I spoke about the mental aspect of things. We are, well, let's say this. Instead of saying we, I'll just use me. I was drilled at an early age that whenever, and it's not necessarily from my mom or anything, but just people in general, it was drilled into my head whenever I would say something was wrong, or I needed to talk to somebody, or I think I need help. It was drilled into me, not to necessarily go look for a physical person, but they would always tell me, just go pray about it. Well, not just go pray. They're just saying, pray about it and trust God and let God handle it. He'll work it out. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And at 41 years old, some of that stuff that I prayed about when I was 19, 12, and 25 still have not been worked out yet. Because I didn't take the time to do the proper thing, which was sit down and talk to people. There's nothing wrong with sitting down, taking care of your mental health. Yes, God is good, but God also created a profession and gave people the knowledge how to help you handle what you can't handle down here. Because some things you need handled right now. Some things that are mental, you need to be handled right now. You need to see somebody or know somebody care right now. So sitting back waiting for somebody to tell me to pray about it doesn't necessarily help. It doesn't make a way for me to feel like it's going to be okay. Yes, I do trust and believe that God can do all things, but there are some things that I need a human assurance that it's going to work. There's some things you need. I'm not going to say prayer won't cut it, but prayer sometimes don't seem like it cuts it, to be honest with you. Because although we walk by faith and not by sight, sometimes prayer seems like, oh my God, this is taking so long. How much longer do I have to wait type situation? It's okay. I don't allow people to tell me anymore, just pray about it. Whenever you tell me something like that, you're letting me know that, number one, you just don't want to take out the time to care. You don't want to take the time to listen. You don't want to take the time to be there because it's an inconvenience for you. I think that's one of the main reasons why people use just pray about it. It's a cop-out because they really saying, I don't care to have to want to spend that kind of time or invest that kind of time to help you get over what you're going through. So I'll use the pray about it thing because God is omnipresent and he can do all things. So if I tell you to pray about it, you'll just trust and believe and you'll go along with it. But then months after that situation is over, you still dealing with it. You end up, your response to it is not what it normally would have been if you would have sat down and talked to somebody. Whether it's your physical health or your mental health, it's okay to seek help. It's okay, I promise you. It's okay to go to a doctor and get medicines. It's okay. Some things the body won't heal itself from, and you really just need medicine, science. Science is just as real as God is. Because God gave people the mental capacity to be able to come up with some things to help heal your body. Again, let's go back to Lisa Marie Presley. We just saw her probably 2 or 3 days before her passing, living life and being grateful for the guy that won the award for playing her father. No one suspected or thought that right after that she would pass, especially whenever there were no signs shown. We don't know if she showed signs, but let's go back to us. We have to also stop hiding the fact that there's something wrong too. Like if somebody asks me how I'm doing now, I'm as honest as I can be. So I tell, if you don't want to know, don't ask. Because if you ask me how I feel, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. Oh, I'm sick, or I need to pay a bill, I need gas, I need yada yada. I'm telling you everything. Because if a situation happens, or the occurrence or the aftermath of how I feel results in a negative, then I can't say nobody cared enough to help because I didn't care enough to tell anybody. So we have to stop putting on a front to making people think whenever somebody asks us how we doing. We have to stop lying. We have to stop saying that we good when we know we not. Say it again. We have to stop lying to people, telling people that we know we're good. And it's not begging. It's not searching for attention. It's not being a burden. Sometimes you just have to get it out of you. You never know who actually does care. Now, of course, you will have some people who will be like, I used to say, I'm good. I have no complaints because if I told you, you wouldn't care anyway. It's true. Some people really don't care even if you do tell them. But for me, I decided if you ask me, I'm going to let you know. And it's up to you to decide how you want to handle it. It's up to you to decide. So with that being said, I feel like I said, we have to unlearn some things. We have to unlearn things that have been taught to us since birth. We have to unlearn that we don't have to walk off pain. We can get pain healed. We don't have to walk off mental, can't sleep at night, or being tormented or tortured in our sleep or in our minds. We can go to somebody and sit down and we can talk to them and they can help us. But we have to be willing to want to step out and get that help. Without being wanting to get that help, it'll never happen. Without the ability to want to get that help, you might as well hang it up because if you don't want it, you're just not going to get it. I'm a firm believer, but I do believe one thing. I'm at a point that if you ask a question, I'm going to tell you the God's Son's answer. The worst that could happen is, one, you'll never ask that question again, or two, you'll probably actually be concerned enough to want to try to help or want to try to talk or help me figure out a way to get that taken care of, whether it's health-wise or mental-wise or whatever. So do me a favor. If that's you, get help. Stop sitting around waiting for it to just pass by because it may not do that. It might not pass. Your heartbreak might not pass, so you may have to go sit down and talk to somebody. What you think is a flu can be pneumonia and you can die. So it's okay to go to the hospital to let a doctor see you. I promise you, there's more benefits, there's more pros than cons. If you look at it from my point of view, stop putting on that front and live and be able to live thrive and have fun with your life, because you stepping out, going to get help makes you all the better. It's your boy Taz. You are listening to or watching the Intro Podcast. Thank you guys so much for being a part of today's show. Do me a favor and share. If you're watching us on one of our platforms, you could also listen to us only on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're listening to us and you actually want to see us visually, you can check us out on Facebook under the Intro Podcast, or you can check us out on YouTube under the Intro Podcast, where you have all our videos also. Do me a favor and check out our most recent interview with singer-songwriter and internet sensation Tasha Sayas. She just became pretty well known for her period challenge. Not period challenge, period. Once you discover her, you'll understand. I can't believe I said that. You'll understand what that comes from. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor. Follow me on social media. I am Trevane. Check out my music, R&B Soul, wherever you get your music from, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, wherever, YouTube. I am Trevane, or you can go to www.iamtrevane.com to do that. Let me talk about the sponsor right fast before we go. Have to make sure you guys know who care about us to make sure we stay on air. I need you guys to definitely be a part of what we're doing. Today's show is sponsored by Diane Klein's, an independent associate with Legal Shield, offering legal services starting at $29.95 and identity theft started at $19.95 a month. They also provide a will, living will, assist with moving violations, contract reviews, and consultations, along with other things. For more information, you can contact her at 214-881-5225, or you can go to dskleins.ladiesofjustice.com for all that information. I definitely would beg you out. You never know when you're going to need legal services, so just have it on standby. And not, $30 a month is a very good deal for everything that they do. But in the meantime, in between time, I'll be right back in just a second. This is your boy Taz, the Intro Podcast. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz, and you are listening to or watching the Intro Podcast. Whichever one you are doing, I absolutely appreciate you. Do me a favor and share today's show, or share this clip, whichever it may be. At the top of the show, I mentioned that I was looking to bring on some co-hosts to be a part of this show, and yes, I really am. There are a lot of things that I am working on that having some other people with me. I want to take some people somewhere. I want to have some fun with some dope individuals. So if you are interested in finding out more information about what it takes to be a part of the Intro Podcast, do me a favor and send us an email to spotlightmedia.info@gmail.com. And for the subject, you can put something like, I want to be on the podcast. Or guest host on podcast or something. Let me know, and I can get that information to you. Let me give a shout out right now to the guy that makes sure when it comes to me having the design or the branding for my company, he makes sure it happens for me. Shout out to JR Full of and Exquisite Custom Creations. You can see my cups that he has made for us. We also have the t-shirts, mouse pads, and everything else. So for any of your custom design needs, do me a favor and follow JR. I have his information below, but he'll also be tagged in the mentions on social media so that you can find him and order your custom design. He is great and wonderfully priced also. Shouts out once again to everyone who have been a part of today's show, who are listening, and those of you who are sharing. Once again, do me a favor, go back and check out our last show with recording artists and social media overnight sensation, really, because this kind of just happened. Tashay Sias. You can check out our interview with Kim Burrell, J Moss, PJ Martin, and pretty much we have a whole slew of prior shows that you can check out, but you can do that on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just searching the Intro Podcast. And once again, you can check out me and my music on social media. I am Trevane, and my music is everywhere you get your vibes from. I would love for your support to be there. Also, in the meantime, in between time, if you would like to advertise on a show, if you would like to sponsor a show, send an email once again to spotlightmedia.info@gmail.com, and you can subject that show sponsor or show advertiser, and we'll get that information to you. Also, thank you guys once again for being a part of today's show. This is your boy Taz, and I'm